Guys, what is going on? I hope you guys are well. I hope you guys are staying safe. Guys, so we did a really long live stream yesterday. A very long live stream yesterday. And I really enjoyed it. I think it was great. I think, getting you guys involved is great. It's great for us to interact. I don't really see a lot of channels do that. So I thought it's a new concept where I can get as many subscribers as many as you can come on and give your opinions about all things boxing. I think it's great. I think that concept is great. And I think the more of you that come on, the more connection. I saw some of you that initially were a bit afraid to come on, and now you came on and you were on for hours. And that's great to see, man. It's great to see that you guys interacting with me, getting to know me, getting to know the other subscribers and how they feel. Everyone's got different opinions. Not everyone's got the same opinion, so that's what makes this great. Everyone's got their own opinion, and for me, that's a sign of a good platform where everyone's got their own opinion, but it's a healthy debate. It's not guys saying this, that, and the other at each other. It's about having a great discussion and a great argument about what you think in the sport of boxing. And I just think it was great. It's a great concept, and it's great to have all of you on. I really appreciate all of you that have come on, and all of you that message in the chat as well, because that helps. And I will try to, what it is, when I have like 4 or 5 people on, it's very difficult to balance it out. And what I mean by that is, it's very difficult when you have 4 or 5 people on to actually speak to them, because sometimes you can interrupt someone's flow. So if I say to someone while we're talking about a topic, and someone asks a question about, just say we're talking about Danny Garcia and Errol Spence, and somebody in the question asks something about Ryan Garcia, it's like it just changes the topic, and it changes the momentum. So sometimes it's very difficult to balance the two, but I will try to do that a lot better moving forward, because I don't want to alienate people in the chat. So I will in the future look at that as well. But as many of you that want to come onto screen and talk, listen, it's great, man. It's great. It's great viewing. It's great viewing. People like to view that because people like to see people's opinions. Okay, so let's get on to what I want to talk about. A couple of things, really. Canelo Alvarez has said that Jermall Charlo's time is coming. He's basically saying that Jermall Charlo's time is here. His time is on the doorstep. And he's on my radar. If you remember when Canelo beat Billy Joe Saunders, Andrade invaded his press conference, and he said to Andrade, "I'm not going to fight, you're a horrible fighter." And he was asked about Charlo and all those guys, and he said, yeah, he'll fight. He's interested in Charlo. I think Canelo's been hearing all of this stuff about, him avoiding and ducking, and he's thinking, you know what? I'm going to fight Charlo. I'm going to prove all these people wrong, because I actually think that Charlo's not as hard a fight as Beterbiev, and that's a fight that a lot of people want to see Canelo fight. And that could be potentially a dangerous fight for Canelo, Beterbiev. So the Charlo fight is more realistic in a guy that's more his weight class, and a guy that's not bigger than him, or that much bigger than Charlo. Is a little bit bigger than Canelo, especially height-wise. But Canelo is big in terms of mass. He's a very thick-set, huge guy. Although he's not very tall, he's 5'8". He's very strong, and his body is very thick. He's got a very thick-set body. It's not a muscular body. It's not a muscular like a Tim Bradley, or even Charlo's quite muscular. Not like that muscular. Or a Kell Brook muscular. It's more a thick set, just a big, strong guy. A thick set unit. And he's very tough, got a great chin, very good boxing skills. And he probably looks at it and thinks, the Charlo fight is more realistic for me. It's a big fight. There's a lot of noise. There's a lot of people saying I'm ducking this guy. It's a great opportunity for me to prove myself. He did say, however, Caleb Plant is first. But then Charlo is on his radar. So I personally think I won't be surprised after Caleb Plant if he fights Charlo. Canelo's not afraid of Charlo. I don't know why people think that Canelo's somehow afraid of Jermall Charlo. He's not afraid of Jermall Charlo in the slightest. He'd fight Jermall Charlo in a heartbeat. In a heartbeat. Without question, he'd fight Jermall Charlo. He'd fight Jermall Charlo in a heartbeat. Especially when you look at the performance that we saw against Montiel. How can we look at that and think that Canelo Alvarez is going to be afraid of Jermall Charlo? He's not. You know, Jermall Charlo for me is a very good fighter, but Canelo's an elite fighter. He's got a great chin, great toughness. It's great to hear because the Charlo fans are saying that Canelo's ducking him. So it's great to hear Canelo has got Charlo on his radar and he's going to fight Charlo. I believe so. I even said to you guys that I think Canelo will fight either one of Charlo or Andrade. One of them will get the fight. And I personally think I won't be surprised if after Plant he goes straight for Charlo. Because I think he looks at Charlo and that's a more fan-friendly fight. And he probably looks at Charlo and thinks that this guy's going to come to fight and that's going to suit my game. Andrade's more of a slick fighter. I don't think Andrade has the chin or the stamina to last the distance with Canelo. I think Charlo is tough. I think he's got a good chin. I do think Charlo's got a good stamina. But I'm not sure how he does when Canelo starts landing big shots. I'm not sure whether Charlo... I think Charlo won't get knocked out brutally like I can see Andrade. But I can see Charlo getting worn down. And that's why I think Golovkin beats Charlo, because I think these two would wear Charlo down. And, you know, Canelo and Golovkin aren't Montiel. They were a lot better than that. So I think Charlo would make for a better fight as well. I think Charlo's style is a more attractive fight because Charlo can put Canelo under pressure with his size, his strength. He has punching power. And he puts his punches together in combinations very well. I don't think he's got the experience that Canelo's got, and I think that's a massive disadvantage alongside with all the other skill advantages that Canelo has. The punching power, you know, the great chin, the experience, the boxing IQ. Canelo has a lot of advantages in this fight, but like I said, I've always said that I think if there's any style that's going to cause Canelo trouble, it's a physical style. It's a style that's going to be able to make Canelo work 3 minutes of the round. It's a style that's going to be able to put Canelo on the back foot. Charlo does have that style, but I don't know whether he's strong enough to implement that. Although Charlo can impose that style from what I've seen in his career so far. But again, to impose it against the fighters that he's imposed it against and to impose it against Canelo. Because one thing that I saw in the Montiel fight, that Charlo was very good for the first 6 rounds. He was battering Montiel. But then after that, Montiel started coming into the fight. He can't afford Canelo to start coming into the fight like that because Canelo's got a lot more weapons, a lot more tools, and Canelo will start chopping you up. He'll start breaking you down and then eventually he'll take you out. So he's going to have to be a lot more... He's going to have to be consistent all the way through the fight, not first 6 rounds, because Canelo will ride his time. Basically like Mayweather did. Mayweather saw weaknesses in the opponent and then he went in for the kill, and Canelo will do the same. Canelo will examine him, see his weakening and then start jumping on him. That's what Canelo does. He sees when a prey's weakening and then he jumps on it. You know, he'll see Charlo as somebody that's tough, rugged, strong, good punching power. But eventually there'll come a point in that fight where Canelo, if he's behind, where he'll take the bull by the horns and say, I've got to press forward. And that's when you're gonna have to stay firm. Charlo might do well first 6 rounds. Andrade might do well first 6 rounds. But can they keep that up? I'm not sure they can. Not against Canelo. And can they even do well in the first 6 rounds? Because Canelo showed that in the Billy Joe fight that he was actually ahead in that fight. And Billy Joe's a good slick boxer. So yeah, I think it's going to be tough either way, no matter whether they start fast or whether it's going to be tough. Because Canelo, like I said, I think what's really impressed me about Canelo is his head movement, him evading punches, his defensive skills are unbelievable. His defensive skills are better than Andrade. He gets, you know, it's harder to hit than Andrade. And Andrade's supposed to be, and Andrade's a defensive fighter, apparently. I believe his defensive skills are even better than Andrade. He makes people miss better than even Andrade does. So, I can't wait for it. I hope if Canelo was to fight Plant next, beat him, I would love to see him fight Charlo. I think the build-up would be great. I think it'd be hyped up into be a massive fight. And, you know, Charlo gets to prove how good he really is. Is Charlo what people say he is? Or is he just like everybody else that fights Canelo? Time will tell. Guys, I also want to do a little bit of a breakdown of Gervonta Davis and Barrios. I think that's a great fight as well. I think Davis-Barrios is a very, very good fight. I think that's a fight which I'm looking forward to. You know, you saw my brother come on live yesterday and you saw how big a fan he is of Davis. And he personally feels that Davis can run through everybody. He feels Davis can beat everyone at 135, 140. He feels Davis is a monster. I don't agree. I think Davis and that they're picking and choosing their fights. But I do think Davis is capable of beating everyone at 135, 140. He just hasn't proven it yet. I do think he's capable. I do think this guy's got explosive and freakish power. You know, you see some people, right, that have freakish ability. Like some people have freakish speed. You know, some people have freakish power. Gervonta he's that guy with freakish power. And his power is explosive. You know, when you have explosive power, you can put people to sleep because you have that kind of explosive burst into action kind of power, burst into energy. Like he just has burst into life. You know, like that uppercut against Leo Santa Cruz. You know, it was just unbelievable. It came out of nowhere and it's so fast. You know, it catches you. It catches you punches you don't see coming, and those punches are the ones that knock you cold. The ones that you don't see coming. Gervonta Davis hits a lot of guys with those shots. That's why he gets a lot of, at times he can get a lot of brutal knockouts. Gervonta Davis is a dangerous fight. It's just that, can his power carry up to 140? And even if he does knock out Barrios in brutal fashion, can he do that against the other top guys at 140, like your Taylors, like your Prograis? That's going to be interesting to see. Maybe he can. Maybe he can knock Taylor out. I won't be surprised. But I right now, if you were to ask me who wins that fight, I would favor Taylor. Just because I don't know how good Davis is. I don't know how great Davis is. Especially at 140. I don't know how good he is. This is why this fight is going to be a test to see, you know, even though Barrios is a guy that's moved up as well. So, but he is a bigger guy than Tank, and he's very tall. I think it's a great sell. I think it's a great sell because you're fighting a very big dude who's also come up weight, who's also, you know, undefeated. It's a great sell. It's a great sell. It's a great sell to introduce yourself into 140-pound division. But the next fight is going to be interesting because if he beats this and wins emphatically, what's he going to do? Is he then going to say, okay, I'm going to fight Josh Taylor? Or I'm going to fight Regis Prograis? What's Gervonta Davis's next move going to be? Because, all right, you win this fight, people are going to say, okay, what's your next move? Who are you going to fight after this? Are you going to fight the top dogs at 140, which is Taylor? Because I'm pretty sure Taylor would love to fight Gervonta Davis because it'd be Taylor's biggest payday, without question. It'd be Taylor's biggest payday, so Taylor would take that fight in a heartbeat. And Tank is a bigger star than Taylor, so I'm pretty sure Taylor would jump at an opportunity to fight Gervonta Davis. You know, yeah, I think it's a great fight. It's a great fight. But again, will Gervonta Davis and his team steer him in that direction, or will they go back down to 135? You see, if he's moving to 140 as a permanent thing and beats Barrios in emphatic fashion, then we would like to see him fight the best in that division. Because Davis is, you know, that's why Davis is isn't on anyone's pound for pound list. Because it feels like he's going from 130 to 135, then he's going to 140, but he's not fighting the best guys. He fought Gamboa at 135, you know, he fought Pedraza at 130, then now he's moving and fighting Barrios at 140. He's not really fighting the elite or the top guys of that division. So hopefully we can get Gervonta Davis and after Barrios, we can get Gervonta Davis, Taylor, Lopez. We can get one of those fights because that's what we want to see as fight fans. That's the fight we want to see. But I do think Davis is a special talent. I do think Davis can knock a lot of guys out. Even at 140, I think he's capable. But again, as of right now, I'm not going to be picking him over Taylor or picking him over Prograis because I think those guys are too big. And Gervonta hasn't shown it yet at 140. So only time will tell whether he can beat you know, the top guys at 140. But leave your thoughts. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. And guys, remember to please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.